Hi, I'm Miss Chris, and welcome to my garden. I am in another garden bed today to do some transplanting. Transplanting some tomatoes and the sweet potatoes that we started in an earlier episode. This lovely plant is the tomato that we planted from a tiny seed. And if you remember, 2 of them came up. So we have 2 nice tomato plants to plant today. So we will start with those. Mr. Jeff and I have dug and loosened the soil, got out the weeds from over the winter, raked it very nice. So now we're going to find 2 spots here for our 2 tomatoes. I have my trowel. So my tomato is going to get big, so I want to make sure it has some room. So I think I will start here. Dig down, you can see the soil is nice and damp. It's a darker color. And we want our tomato to be able to fit down in there. I'm going to very carefully loosen it up. You can see the roots. It's getting kind of cramped in there. It wants to come out. So we'll rough up the edges a little bit, loosen them up, and place them down into the soil. Make sure the plant's nice and tall. Tuck some soil down around the edges. Don't want to pack it in too tight, but we want it nice and firm so it gives some stability to our tomato. So because our tomatoes are going to get bushy and they might need a little support, I put tomato cages around them. You can see I did this one. And I was getting ready to do this one, and I noticed there's an old chrysalis from a monarch butterfly hatched out of that. A caterpillar crawled up and made a chrysalis last gardening season. And be really careful. And place this down around the tomato. So that will be their new home. The only thing that they need now is some water. So let's go to the rain barrel and get some water. So here I am at the rain barrel. This is at the back of the chicken coop and the tool shed. It has a metal roof, so the water comes down and collects from the rain in this barrel, and then I can open the spout and I have rainwater to water my plants. I will fill up my watering can here. And take it over to the tomatoes. And give them a good drink of water. Help them get going in their new home. Take a look at the sweet potato slips that we started, remember, from the sweet potato, and they grew out of the sweet potato itself, and we snapped them off. And we put them in a jar of water. Now they have grown lots of roots. I'm going to put them here in the middle of the bed. Let's see. They have a lot of roots. So it's a similar process that we did with the tomato. I'm going to dig with our trowel a nice hole. Tuck those roots down in there. Cover them up. Get nice and firm. Tuck it in there. And I have quite a few of them. I'm going to put them about 18 inches apart across the bed. So, because they are going to vine out. And underneath the main part of the plant is where the sweet potatoes will grow, and the leaves will spread to collect a lot of sunlight to feed the sweet potatoes that are going to grow down in the dark under the soil. So of course they are going to need a good watering also. I also have some other things to plant just so you can see the variety of how the plants look. I have a bell pepper, so if you eat green peppers or red peppers, orange peppers, they grow on a plant that looks like that. Of course it's going to get much bigger. I have some parsley plants in here. And some onions, and I started from seeds. You can see they're little baby onions now, and they will get a round ball on them by the end of the summer. And some nasturtiums. They have a very fascinating leaf. Veins radiate out from the center and a round leaf, and they get very beautiful red, orange, and yellow flowers that you can eat, and they look beautiful in a salad. And you can put these leaves in a salad, and they're kind of peppery tasting, so it spikes up your salad. So that is my job for today, which I will carry on with. So we finished transplanting our sweet potatoes and tomatoes, and I thought it would be a nice break to come inside out of the sun and wind for a little bit and do some art. Last episode, episode 13, we made a nature mandala, which you can see now on the screen. We gathered up some stones and dandelions, and we started out in the center with the crabapple blossom, and the violet leaves are in there. And we talked about how a mandala is a circular piece of art. So today I'd like for us to draw a mandala, and I have gathered up some of the drawings that we have done in the previous episodes. So let's take a look at what we could maybe bring into our mandala. In an earlier episode we made the leaf of the fennel. It's earlier in the spring with its branching qualities in pairs. So we have that pattern. We looked at the spiral when we saw the millipede and the snail shells. We looked at the primrose with its stars and circular center and its leaves. I also brought in a rose leaf from the rose bush and some chamomile blossoms, more traditional when we think of flowers with the center and the petals. So these are some elements we could use to make a mandala. I sketched out a really quick one on some scrap paper where I took in some of those elements. So here we have the flower center, and then I used part of that branching from the fennel leaf and the spiral and the leaf, and remember we used the little white pebbles. So let's make one of these. We're going to start in the center of our paper and make our flower with its round center and as many petals as you want, skinny petals, fat petals, as many petals as you want around that center. Then we'll take that branching of the fennel leaf and we'll just make some lines evenly spaced. Let's see how many we get. Evenly spaced around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll do that branching off. Almost looks like bird feet or chicken feet. Tracks. And then let's add in the spiral from the snail shell. So we'll think about placing them in between. So we'll just spiral out and spiral out in between our little branching motif. We have some spirals and we use the rose leaf and we'll have it come out maybe between the spirals. So put some rose leaves on there. And you can just leave it plain like that, or if you want to, you can add one vein down the center. And let's finish with some circles. Looks like we used the pebbles. We can make some circles there between the leaves above the spiral. And put in some circles. You could even go on and make more, but I think we'll stop there and add some color. So our chamomile blossom is also colored like a daisy with a yellow center. Put a nice yellow center in there. If we want to, we can put in a little bit of light orange around the edge just to give it a little bit darker. And my paper is off-white. The white pencil doesn't really show up very well. So why don't we, on top of that white, you see I'm coloring in the way the shape of the petal goes. I don't know, I'm going to take a little bit of pink and add it on top so it shows up a little bit better. I can even make it dark pink towards the center. Let's see, and lighter pink towards the edge. Okay, and then we have our branching one. I'll take maybe a brown and go over that, cover over the red pencil. And that brings us to our spirals. So let's see, we're going to probably want green for our leaves. So what would be a good spiral? Maybe some blue? Let's try a blue. And spiral around. make them a little bit thicker than that pencil. And of course, you can always stop the video, take your time. Then we want some green for the leaves. And we'll color them the way the leaf grows in this pointy shape. Make that green nice and dark, maybe even darken up the edge there. If I want to, I can take a little bit of light green on the top so I get some layers of color. And I won't do all of those right now. Let's think about what we would want for our little circles here. We could do maybe orange. Does orange look nice out there? Bold color. Or you can make them all different colors. So that's one version of our mandala. I did another one earlier using some other elements that we had done in previous episodes. I made one using the center of the primrose drawing, where we had taken a circle and we imagined it being like a person, where we put the neck and the arms and the legs, and we had gone round those as a guide to get a rounded star for the center of our primrose. And I used that for the center of this mandala, and I put the spirals in next, and then I did the branching, but I did two, and I used more of a violet heart-shaped leaf with branching that looks like that branching, so I have that pattern in there twice. And then I used the technique that we used on our leaves for the primrose, and also for the daffodil, where we did the blue over the green at the bottom and we did the yellow towards the tips. So I did that here. I colored them in green, and then I took some blue in the bottom to make them a little bit darker, and I took yellow towards the top, make it a lighter green, so I get that variation in green. And then I chose to put some circles in and made them red. So that gives us another possibility on the mandala. So of course the most important thing is to just have fun. To explore nature, gather up materials, make nature mandalas out of actual objects, and try to replicate them with your drawing. There are millions of possibilities and styles. If you go online, you can see all kinds of examples that you could try, but most exciting is making up our own examples. There are no rules to making art. So be creative and don't forget to get outside.